Evaluate the following. Here we're given 4 fraction multiplication problems. They're all multiplication, even though they're using different symbols to represent multiplication. Let's start with the first one and work our way through. We've got 2/3 times 4/7. When we multiply fractions, the rule tells us to multiply across in the numerators and to multiply across in the denominators. When we do that, we get 2 times 4, which is 8 up top, and 3 times 7, which is 21 in the bottom. So multiplying these gives us 8 over 21. That doesn't simplify at all, so that is our final answer. Not that difficult. Let's do another one. 5/8 times 4/7. Again, we multiply across. 5 times 4 is 20 in the top. 8 times 7 is 56 in the bottom. Now this one can be reduced. Both of those are even numbers, so we can divide the top and bottom by 2. That gives us 10 over 28. And they're even again, so we can reduce again by a factor of 2. That gives us 5/14. There's another method to do this with cross-canceling, but we're not going to look at that until the next set of problems. We want to get good practice following the basic rules to make sure everyone understands them, and then we'll look at a shortcut in the next set of problems. All right, so the next one, we've got -5/6 times 7/10. We will multiply straight across again. In the numerators, -5 times 7 is -35. In the denominators, 6 times 10 is 60. And here we can reduce by a factor of 5. So if we divide the top and bottom by 5, we get -7 and 12, which is -7/12. Equivalently, this is the same as if we put the negative out front and write -7/12. The reason for this is if we take a negative and divide it by a positive, the result is a negative number. So with a fraction, it doesn't matter if the negative goes in the numerator, in the denominator, or out front. They are all equivalent to each other so long as there's just one negative sign. Nice. We've got one more to do from this set. We've got -4/5 times 7/2. In this case, the negative is out front of a fraction, so I'm going to think of this as a negative number times a positive number, which in the end gives us a negative result. So I'm going to keep that negative out front, and then I'm just going to multiply the rest of the numbers across. 4 times 7 is 28, 5 times 2 is 10, so we have -28/10. We can reduce here by a factor of 2. That gives us -14/5, and that is our final answer. In the next set of problems, we'll look at cross-canceling and how that can save us time in more complicated problems.